welcome to Natty's Crafts. I'm Natalie. I always do all the crafting. And today we're going to do two Christmas crafts, products I found at Dollar Tree and going to create some crafts with. So why not? And so it's almost Christmas time for those of us that want Christmas to be tomorrow. And so it's time to get ready. So go ahead, give the video a big thumbs up, leave a comment down below. Be sure to subscribe. When you subscribe, you should hit the bell so you know when the next video comes out. So let's go ahead and go take a look.
So we're going to make these glass globes. I lost the footage from me getting these ready. It's basically just painting the tops that you see there. They are from Dollar Tree. They're glass globes. There's what they look like. They have the adorable little snowflakes on them, which is why I chose them instead of using the clear glass that they have in the dish section. So you're going to paint the top. This was red with Christmas trees and green with Christmas trees. I didn't want that. So I painted it black, and then I put some of this gold paint just on the edges. And it was a little bit sticky, as if the paint was going to flake off because it's on metal. So I decided to put a little Mod Podge on all three of them so that they stay, you know, as nice as possible for as long as possible is kind of what I'm after here. So I did the sides and the tops, basically everything that I painted, I'm going to cover in Mod Podge. And I put way too much. I know that. I'm aware of that. Yes. And this is the same way that I painted them with the black and then put the gold on. So you know how to paint. We don't need to, you know, fret too much about missing that footage. Okay, and then once they're all painted and Mod Podged, we're going to just use the hairdryer. Get rid of any of that extra. I put a lot on there. Didn't need that much. Use the hairdryer to dry it. Obviously on cool is the temperature. And then all we're going to do is we're going to use the Dollar Tree fairy lights. I've got 2 batteries in there. Those are my Amazon batteries. I've got the really pretty fairy lights from Dollar Tree. And you could, in theory, put the battery pack inside the globe, but I felt like that took away from the image, and so I left the battery pack out. See, I'm just checking it out to make sure it looks okay. The lights are not very bright, so we'll keep that in mind. And then I decided, well, let's make it a little bit more Christmassy. So you could just keep it with just the lights and keep it up, you know, year-round for all I care. I mean, you could keep it up all winter. But for Christmas, I'm going to add these Christmas bulbs into the glass jar. And I'm going to string them onto the wire of the fairy lights so that they still, you know, the fairy lights are in between and around the bulbs. And of course, you don't have to do this, or I bought these pastelish colored Christmas bulbs from Dollar Tree. I thought they were pretty, but then once I got them, I'm like, this looks a lot like Easter. So maybe not. So I tried it with the battery pack inside. I didn't like how that looked. Oh, and the tops don't all fit each other. So you do have to make sure you put the right top back on the right jar. But I took the battery pack out, and then I just lightly screwed the top on. And then when you turn it upside down, it's adorable. Now these lights, I believe these are probably from Target a year or 2 ago. And they are little stars. And it said $3 on the package. I would have got them after Christmas, so they were probably 70 or 90% off or something. So basically free is how I see it. If it's less than $2, it's free, right? Anyway, so I'm going to string those in. I do want the lights all separated so that they're kind of all over inside the jar. And then again, we're going to lightly put that top on, and then we're going to put some batteries in the little battery pack there. And these lights were quite a bit brighter than the Dollar Tree version. And same thing here, where you can add, you know, the Christmas bulbs if you wanted, gold, red, green, whatever, or not. It's up to you. It's your choice. It's your craft. And then I had seen someone do this, and they took off the little, whatever those, the hanger things, and my hands were not strong enough to take them off for some reason. I don't know if it was just that one bulb or what, but I decided not to do that, and I just stuffed a bunch in there. Now this one I did not put any lights in because I didn't have any more of the clear lights. I had some random other lights. So you can see the ones on the side there, the bright ones, those are from Target. And then the little fairy lights right in front there are from Dollar Tree. And then the one in the back has no lights at all. And I think they're just adorable. And I like the bottom being painted dark so you don't really notice it. Some people put snow in it. You could do that, or you could put like a little Christmas tree or something if you're just doing lights. There's so many options. And then we're going to make a wreath using the Dollar Tree Christmas bulbs and also the Dollar Tree those wreath forms. And I used the largest one and the second largest. They come in a set of 3. And what we're going to do is we're going to cut these open. So I use my heavy duty lineman pliers, and there's a little spot where you can see where it was welded. We're going to cut that little weld or solder or however they connected that. Now this was not easy, and arthritic hands like mine this was difficult, honestly, very difficult. So if you can get it done, that's great. If you need help, by all means get help. Because again, you see me struggling here. It was not an easy task. I did finally get it, so yay for that. And then all we're going to do is we're going to string the bulbs on here. Now, you've seen this before as well by other people, other crafters, and they typically are going to put a hole on the opposite side of where the hole is on the bulb. That just seemed like utterly too much work for me. And so I was trying to figure out how to make this work as easy as possible. So I'm just going to string them on. I'm just going to string them on just like that, and then we're going to use a little hot glue, and we're going to do what we can do to make it sit still. And this wreath is, how big must this be? I don't know. 12 inches, 16 inches, I have no idea. But it's big enough that we're going to put 2 rows, and so it's big enough that it can sit out on the front door and look good. Look like it fits and not too small. So literally I'm just going to fill this up with all the bulbs that I had. And some of them were falling off. But then we're going to make them all sit up straight, and we're going to tape the ends of the wire together so that they don't fall or so that they don't come apart. And then once it's taped together, then we're going to make all the bulbs sit up nice and tall and straight. And then we're going to hot glue the little hangy things onto the wire of the wreath. And this is how we're going to make the bulbs stay where they're supposed to stay. Maybe not the strongest craft ever, and I do like to have crafts that will last at least a full season, if not forever. This will probably not last the full season because of how I glued these on. But again, I was trying to make it easy and quick. Quick and easy is the way I like crafts to go. So I'm going to do a second one, and this one is going to be the smaller size, and I'm going to put all of the smaller sized bulbs onto this smaller wreath. And just organizing them so that they, will fit on there. And then I'm going to tape, the top to make sure they can stay sitting where I want them to sit. And I was able to tape at the top there, and then I'm going to connect the 2 wreaths together. You're looking at the back side of the wreath, and we're going to connect the 2 wreaths together using this wired jute. And you could use just regular wire, you could use ribbon, you could use about anything. You could use tape if you wanted to. But I'm just going to connect these together. I do want that to be strong because I don't want that to fall apart and for everything to fall onto the ground. So we're just going to twist that jute wire around. And then I do cover that jute wire with a small piece of this white ribbon. I'm making a bow out of this white ribbon. And this is not wired ribbon, which made it much more difficult than it needed to be. But I ended up using hot glue to make the ribbon stay the way I wanted it to stay. You know how to make a ribbon. If you don't, There are thousands of crafters that will show you how. I'm not going to be one of those in this situation. So go watch one of them and then come back. So I'm going to make a bow as simple as I can, make it as even as I can, and then I'm going to hot glue it onto the ribbon that I covered the jute wire with. And then I'm going to hot glue in multiple spots to make the ribbon look as if it was a wired ribbon. And I really actually think it's quite pretty. It's not Christmas to me at all. It looks more like Easter or something. But I do think it's pretty, if that makes a difference. I mean, look at that. I think it looks fabulous. I thank you so much for stopping by Natty's Crafts today. I sure hope you could give the video a big thumbs up. Leave a comment down below and be sure to subscribe. When you subscribe, hit the bell so you know when the next video comes out. Please remember to appreciate today, as tomorrow is never promised. Thanks, y'all. Y'all have a great one.